What do you think of when I say Ben and Jerry's? Probably overpriced, funny flavor names, small containers. Maybe you actually like their ice cream. I don't know. I grew up buying those plain, like transparent buckets. So whatever you got, it was probably more than a gallon. I don't know how big they were, but you better like mint chocolate chip because you got a literal 2 gallon bucket full of it. And it was like $3. The idea of paying like $7 for a pint of ice cream just doesn't do it for me. But then again, look at the crap I spend my money on behind me. So I'm not going to shame anyone for enjoying Ben and Jerry's ice cream. I'm not going to shame them for continuing to enjoy it. But Ben and Jerry's largely has turned their brand into an activism brand. This isn't the first time that they've got millions of dollars in free press from overeager, far-left morons on Twitter, and they're going to continue to do it because it's profitable. What's hilarious to me is just how willing liberals are to attach themselves to corporations. When I was growing up, and my definition of being a liberal was, pro free speech, anti censorship, anti corporation, pro local business. I don't even understand what the definition is anymore. I mean, I would still consider myself one if I had any clue what their belief system was. I suppose centrist is the closest thing that most normal people can identify with nowadays. The idea that Ben and Jerry's now calling to dismantle the American police system is hilarious to me. Here's a test. Now, I'm sure I would never expect anyone to do this, but it would be hilarious if somebody walked into a Ben and Jerry's and stole a bunch of ice cream. Do you think that Ben and Jerry's would call the police? I'm betting they would. If you walked into Ben and Jerry's and you said, "Give me all the cash out of the register," I'm betting they would call the police. Okay? So anybody, always be suspicious of anybody getting sucked into this bumper sticker politics. The idea that you can you can just remove the entire police force is ridiculous and absurd. Look, I live out in the country. I'm well armed. I'm fine with it. But I don't know about, the elderly in the cities, kids who need protection. This is the dumbest position to have on the planet. I just don't understand. Now, again, I'm not going to say that that law enforcement is infallible. In fact, I strongly disagree with their union. And obviously, there are individuals within that organization that are bad. The overwhelming majority of them are good and want to help people, but there are bad apples, just like literally any group that large. But the idea that you're going to get people to buy $7 ice cream because you say something trendy proves just how stupid people are. And by the way, this isn't even a uniquely left thing. I see people on the right doing it all the time too. Buy this pillow because the guy who makes it likes the same politics you like. No, you should buy the best pillow for your needs. Now people out here acting like buying ice cream is going to stick it to the establishment when all you're doing is making them. Here's Frederick Joseph, certified blue check mark. I don't know what they do for a living. Oh, they're an author. Ben and Jerry's calls for the abolishment of the police. In other news, I just spent $1,000 on Ben and Jerry's ice cream. Wow, that's an interesting way. That's an interesting way to admit that you have an enormous amount of privilege, isn't it? It's extremely interesting. And by the way, Ice cream brand Ben & Jerry's calls for the abolishment of the law enforcement, says the entire system must be dismantled because it intentionally criminalizes black and brown communities, which is hilarious and wrong. Let's just take a look where Ben & Jerry's is located. Factory tour. Doesn't look like they're in an inner city here. Waterbury, Vermont. Let's take a look at Waterbury, Vermont for just a minute. The 5 largest ethnic groups in Waterbury, Vermont are white, 93%. It is a 93% white, then 4% Asian, Hispanic 1.4%. It's less than 1% black. It's less than 1% black. Why don't you move your factory to downtown Minneapolis? It's hilarious to me that people keep falling for this. Even if we go to some buildings they own are in South Burlington, just 87% white, 5% Hispanic. It's just 2% black or non-Hispanic. Why don't you move your, Ben & Jerry's so white? Why do people keep falling for this garbage? On Monday, in the wake of everything that happened in Minnesota, on Sunday, the ice cream company, Ben & Jerry's, famous for its championing of left-wing causes, tweeted that American police system can't be reformed and must be dismantled. By the way, I'd be willing to bet 95% of people that buy our ice cream are upper middle class white people. I'd be willing to bet. Just saying. I'm pretty sure Ben & Jerry's ain't hot in the black community. This is virtue signaling for whites. Self-aggrandizing, white guilt suffering, upper middle class, far left white people. That's who buy $7 pints of ice cream. Of course, in December, the Daily Wire reported that NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick announced his joint venture with Ben & Jerry's for a new flavor titled Change the World. The Daily Wire noted that all proceeds from ice cream will be funneled into Kaepernick's anti-police foundation, Know Your Rights Camp, and matched by millionaires Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield's company. Kaepernick tweeted, I've teamed up with Ben & Jerry's. In November 2019, Ben & Jerry's announced a new unofficial flavor honoring Senator Bernie Sanders. Ben Cohen, who co-founded the famed ice cream brand, announced Friday the creation of Bernie's Back, following a similar release during the last Democratic presidential primary. In September 2019, Ben & Jerry introduced the flavor Justice Remixed. They stated in a press release the iconic ice cream company had partnered with Advanced Project National Office to launch Justice Remixed, a flavor created to spotlight structural racism in a broken criminal legal system. Look, if you think that I could walk in, do these two dudes, somebody walks into their Ben & Jerry's, how does Ben & Jerry's, so do they actually have ice cream stores or just the pints? So according to Ben & Jerry's, I should be able to just walk into Walmart, fill up a cart full of Ben & Jerry's and walk out. And if Walmart calls the police on me, Ben & Jerry's, will you defend me in court and say that you support this? This is some of the most ridiculous, idiotic garbage that I've ever seen. Yes, of course we need police. Yes, of course we need reform. But the idea to just remove it from two multimillionaire white people who live in a city with less than 1% or work in a city of less than 1% black population. I mean, you would have to be a moron to think these people are doing anything but playing the black community and playing the woke Twitter for free advertising. You'd have to be an absolute moron Now, if you enjoy that, whatever random flavor that they make, enjoy it. Who cares? Life is short. But let's just dial it back a little bit on Ben and Jerry's giving a damn when their factories and employment, I wonder how many black folks even work for them. 3? It'd be a long drive since they don't live in that community, obviously. What a joke. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.